up, nigga? I got Ted with me, we outside.
$500,000 bond, nigga, made it in the street. Niggas thought they gon' keep me in, that shit is too tight for me. Got money. Shit. Yeah, B block, I represent from the east. Hey, yeah, cause you know I hate police. Buttons on the trigger, they be talking that shit. Yeah, gang, 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 they be talking that shit. Yeah, stain, 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 they talking that shit. Yeah, same thing, same old games, no fear.
But
yeah, so well, I'm gonna give you my description of your baby brother.
Okay.
Fly young nigga. Fly young stepper. Fly young whatever y'all wanna call him. He's fly, he come through in different shit. Rips. Big old school. Maybe 50,000 in the car, I don't know. You look so, listen man.
Well, we can get to it.
This is real, this ain't no cat bullshit. Now, this that East New York living from the side blocks. You know what I mean? That was her baby brother though.
So yeah, we're here to talk about Jerry and JJ, and fun fact is, no, well, not fun fact, but it is 2 years that my brother passed away, Jerry, if only I know.
Rest in peace, Jerry.
Gordo, rest in peace, bro. So it is his anniversary of his 2 years up in heaven, and yeah, March 10th he passed away. 2 months before his birthday, May 10th. So I'm actually doing a game night. Plug that in, game night and the celebration of life. Y'all know that I said once my brother passed on, I will forever do a tribute for my brother. So this is the month, and then 2 months later, I lost my oldest son, JJ, and just taking it back. All of this stuff is going to be in a book and a movie that is approved by Jerry. He told me all his stories to say that he wanted, and we were supposed to continue talking about his stories, but here we are, you know, he passed away. So that is why I'm here talking to the people who really know my brother and can help me along with that. But 2 months later, in May of that same year, I lost my firstborn son. And if anybody knows of the two gordos, the two fat boys, they used to run around on the block, that was Jerry and JJ. So they were nephew, more like brothers, because I raised my brother. So, and then JJ came right behind because I was a young teenage mom. So, and we're here.
Yep, definitely here, you know. And rest in peace to both of them.
Thank you.
And you know, life got, you know, more things in store.
Definitely.
You know, I don't know your son at all. But
he was young boy, but he knows all of you, and that was
stock,
one thing.
I know the stock he came from.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? So I know what, and you know, I know what it is.
And that was one thing. People may not know of JJ so much in the older years because Jerry was on the block, right? He was running things and doing what he had to do. JJ was more with me and my younger son, and but JJ knew all the stories, right? And as I say, I'm writing a book and a movie, and it was to my sons to edit and hear all the stories. So he was sitting at Sutter Ave and living it as a kid and knowing what we're saying, you know, all the people that came through 1348 Avenue. And when that gets revealed, all the people that we do know, you know, you get to see how we came up, how we did, and we were very different. Jerry was totally different, young boy, getting to it, doing what he had to do, and that's why I said I will always tribute my brother and my son.
That's right. Because if Jerry ain't know nothing else, and I'm not saying he don't, but if he didn't know nothing else, he know how to get to that bag.
Totally get to that bag.
Get to that shit.
And then to get to everybody. So a couple of funny stories. I was seeing the other day, like when it was a snowstorm, and when you say get into that bag, well, first, you know, that was me getting to the bag. Like I was always bartending, doing something or whatever. And that's with right. Jerry, he would go sweep up the hair at the barber shop, then go to the supermarket, bag up some groceries as a young kid, and then on snow days he would get all the boys on the block, Dubs, everybody to come and shovel. A lot of the people, especially if you couldn't shovel your block. Even me, like my car in the morning when I was going to work, Jerry already had it shoveled. All the young boys getting it done.
That's right.
So that was what it was. It was getting that hustle. Yep, he was getting that leader. He was the men of young boys out here, the guys. So that was what he was about, getting money and teaching everybody to do it the same way. Like, it's all about the bag.
Yeah, he helped me get a bag.
Everywhere I go, like,
he helped me get a bag, y'all.
And how he do that?
He helped me get a bag up there, you know, New Hampshire somewhere.
New Hampshire. So
out there in New Hampshire. He helped me get a bag out there.
Yeah, and that's what it was. Everywhere he went, he was just trying to get everybody to cultivate the area in whichever way you can, whether if it was driving an Uber, whatever it was. Yeah, he definitely was.
He loved his family. He about that money, and he made it. And he got the money. He got the bread. You know?
And if he didn't have it, he'll make it.
Yeah. And the good thing about him not being with us, because it's inevitable for what happened, but he didn't die by the gun.
No.
You see what I'm saying? So, you know, all praise due to his family.
Yeah, and it's crazy you said that. It's crazy you said that because in the very beginning, my son said that, TJ, the youngest one, biologically I only have 2 sons, but I have many sons on the block. But TJ has said that. He sat with me, he saw the pain in my eye from Jerry, right? And he was like, we should be in the element of being grateful that it went this way, because had it gone a different way, just like you just said, then it would be a lot more people would be losing, because in Jerry's honor, we would be going.
That's facts. That's facts. Yep. So, you know, although we're from Sandpound, we don't know each other kids. So you know, I can't say anything about your child.
You could definitely say it about Jerry.
Right, you know, so
thank you
the
for
floor
that.
is yours for your child. I mean, let them know who your child was, you know.
So JJ was my firstborn. I was a teenage mom, and JJ came, well, Jerry first came to save me because I was really wild. Like, Beef just asked me how old was Jerry compared to me. I was 13 years old. I was already working and doing things from 12 years old.
Yep.
The same exact story for Jerry. So when y'all see the book or whatever, it's just showing my story first and how it really like went to Jerry. And
I want to see the book too.
So Jerry first came to save me, right? And as far as maybe holding me down, because I knew that my brother, I didn't want my brother growing up in the same environment as Nani, that y'all all know from the movie theater, and Tito, that y'all all know too. Tito was above Jerry, you know, so that Jerry didn't come up like we did, you know. Our grandparents from Autumn Avenue, we lived on Sutter Ave, so Jerry came to probably pause me down, like God sent him that way so that I'll be not as wild as I was. And then Jerry coming along, which is what he has, the nature he has of hustling, I knew I had to get it even more for my 3 brothers and sister, and just make sure that we was on top, right? And then I was wilding out still. Jerry didn't stop that. Jerry just encouraged it a little bit more as a baby, because I just carried him everywhere with me. And then at 16 years old, I got pregnant with JJ, right? So I said I was wild. But JJ then definitely came to save me at that point. I was 16 years old with a son. I was working professionally, but also on the street. So JJ was the little rugrat in the house, and he also was like the little brother that everybody, my sister was the second mom, and JJ looked up to Jerry so much. They were like almost twins, like I said. If you see pictures of them now, the beard, the chunkiness, everything, they were the same way.
Well,
so
how many years they're apart? 5?
They're 4 years apart.
Okay.
Yeah. Remember, I was 16. I was 13 years older than Jerry, and then I got pregnant at 16. So I gave birth at 17. So they're 4 years apart. So Jerry was a little boy carrying JJ, and then so everything I instilled in Jerry, Jerry took over with JJ, right? Like as a little boy, he was that uncle. So for anybody who knows, okay, Jerry and I know saying that, but we got to give props, PBC. But
shout out to PBC.
And then so giving that props, side block, we all the way, right? Like they made their name, they did all of that. So you can consider JJ and as the young boys, Quan, Dubs, all of them. So those boys would know JJ. And the biggest thing is he just looked up to his uncle. You know, everything that Jerry did for everybody over here, he looked up to him. They beefed a lot, you know, so at one point that was the thing, and I want to let that out in the book for a lot of people, because a lot of people came for me at the funeral to just, for JJ's funeral, feeling bad about how they probably felt about JJ at the and in March, just because of, you know, brotherly war, right? I'm sure you and Easy done beefed. I'm sure then other brothers have beef with each other. You know, they really grew up like brothers.
Yeah,
so
that's an impact. That's a strong impact.
A very strong impact. And then people seeing on the outside, I say this, that it benefited a lot of people that JJ and Jerry were beefing at certain points, right? Like
I believe that.
If JJ and Jerry was on, if JJ and Jerry was on their thing totally straight through and didn't let anybody infiltrate chicks or dudes, then they would be unstoppable.
Yeah,
you know.
I believe that.
So at this point, you know, that's where JJ was at. He just fell back, and Jerry, and I will say both of them said something to me on both behalves at the very last time, March, for Jerry, when he probably felt that he was going. And the same for JJ. JJ didn't want to be here. He wanted to be with his uncle. I tell you that for sure. He wanted to be with his uncle, spending time that other people probably didn't get to spend. And nothing could hold him back here, right? So they both went out their way. So just a little segue, you can ask me whatever.
They're together then.
Yeah, they're together for sure, right? Like, and that's why I say Jerry and JJ way. Whatever anybody else can say, I know what my brother said about my son, and my son said about my brother. You know, and both of them. And this is what I say to anybody. If y'all saw, like in hindsight, I say like Unusual Suspect, right? The movie Unusual Suspect. That at the ending, it was totally something that y'all didn't see.
Right.
There's a lot of things that people thought that they were beefing, but behind my doors, ain't nobody asked me to choose, and it wasn't played like that behind the doors, right? So they knew what it was. It was just to everybody else's eye. Like we couldn't let nobody infiltrate, and we was just watching from afar. That's what we was doing.
Holding it down.
Watching from afar.
Holding it down. Sand pal.
Right, a sand pal. Right behind each other. If anybody didn't know, I grew up. He just asked me about that. My grandparents was 701 Autumn Avenue, right next to Joe. We're in age range, and then we moved to 595 Autumn between Belmont, so that's how I know the Jimmy and the Timmys. And then I moved at a later time on Autumn, so we grew up together.
This East New York, this the side blocks. You know, rest in peace to a lot of people.
We lost so many great ones.
You know, rest in peace to Arnold Clement. He used to call himself Polo in some places. We called him Nook. Rest in peace to Anson from Autumn between Linden and Dumont. And rest in peace to his brother Dale from the same spot.
There's a few I have rest in peace. Let's talk about Jessica on Autumn, right?
Definitely, Jessica.
Let's go.
My little sister. Jessica.
Kenny, right? That he was in front of my house. My mom was the last one to be with Kenny before he passed on Sutter Avenue. We know that, right? So DL. Alex back in the day, right?
Dwayne. Rest in peace, Kyle.
Definitely brother. Kyle. Jerry and Tito always talk about Kyle.
Let me see, man.
There's plenty more, but
man, I forgot. Harold. Rest in peace to Harold little brother. His name was Shah. I forgot that. I'm getting the names mixed up, but y'all know.
So many more.
But rest in peace, and shout out to Harold, man, wherever you at, brother. And definitely shout out to her son and her baby brother.
Jerry, rest in peace. Your name, Jerry and JJ, will always live on forever with me. And like I said, it will always be a tribute around their time. I always talk about the numbers, right? It was both of them, Jerry and JJ, so that makes 2. March to March 10th, May 10th was his birthday, right? So on the day of his birthday, he was out, so that was 2 months. And then 2 weeks later, my brother passed. So anytime you see the number 222, y'all know that Jerry and JJ are sending whatever messages. So right. I live in peace. I live in good because I'm around his peoples, and they get to always talk about his stories.
Become in peace, leave in peace. Shout out to my man Flip from Cyprus, man, from the front. Philip, man.
Just talking about that.
That's his stuff right here.
Nice.
See what I'm saying? That's his stuff right here. That's my boy.
Very nice. And there's a whole bunch of merch. I just did a basketball tournament yesterday, and I'm gonna actually surprise people with that announcement. So it's a East New York basketball tournament league that's happening, and I'm actually sponsoring with their names, Jerry and JJ Way. I got some other big surprises coming with that, but yeah, so we have some clothing lines, and then JJ also wanted to make a clothing line, Black Spade. So watch out for that too.
That's right, watch out for that, y'all. And on the strength of Jerry, shout out to New Hampshire, man.
Right, New Hampshire. Also, actually, another fun fact too. I am going to New Hampshire. That is, when Jerry passed away, he passed away in New Hampshire. So he did. He went to New Hampshire. And he passed away in New Hampshire. So my cousin called me and let me know that had happened. He was doing actually his world tour. So there's so many people that send me their voice notes and that timing, and he was calling everybody, like just really being thoughtful on who he was going to see that time. And there's so many messages with Jerry just saying, yo, I love you, bro, Coy boy, whatever he had to say. So this is why I say his journey was of him knowing, right? So he went to New Hampshire, promising everybody that he would make it back to New York because we was going to work on some things. And that night he passed away on March 10th up there. So we had to wait a few weeks for him, right? We had to wait a few weeks for him. So the story went that I got my brother back to East New York because although he transitioned in New Hampshire, and that's why he said shout out to New Hampshire, his love was in New Hampshire too. He started building things in New Hampshire, and he was bringing like I said, he had it on Smash. Him and my brother Tito, and everybody that was over here that he knew had the talent or the hustle the same way was bringing up to New Hampshire. So he was gonna make a New York in New Hampshire, right? So he went up there and was supposed to come back. So I did that comeback for him. So we brought him to East New York to Grace Funeral Home, and then we did a block party that day. We shut down the block. Monty, shout out to Monty and everybody else who helped with that. And once we did the funeral on that Saturday, we all went to PA, and we buried him at Kutztown. So it was like a real road tour for Jerry. He went out in style.
And y'all hearing it from his people. Y'all not hearing it from me. You know what I mean? 'Cause we getting straight to the source these days.
And we went in 50 cars. Like, it was so many cars that went in there that Pennsylvania didn't even have the capability of holding all the cars. We said Jerry was the man, right? And we have videos of everybody coming in. The way they weren't ready for it. And Kutztown is where his kids' mother's father taught and was a professor. So we did it in style.
I didn't even know baby boy was gone.
Yeah, until after.
That was like amazing. Like, what happened to son?
Everybody.
So you don't have to, but if you don't mind, how did he pass?
Okay, my brother had a seizure in his sleep, and I say this, I'll give you the explanation of how I already knew it for Jerry, and this is why I say both of them got to, I wouldn't even say repent, but just say like where their mistakes or problems were. But it was a seizure caused by drinking, the smoking. And so I just want to fast forward to my son, right? Because my son at the same time was from December. He was transferred to North Shore in Long Island to get a liver transplant because of drinking. And this is a young boy. So this is what, well, first his drink got laced. So in 2018, his drink got laced. So that made him go from 0 to 1,000 more than what he needed to be, right? And then why I'm saying of JJ's story, because we were like, well, I always clashed them together. What I said to my brother, because Tito also in New Hampshire was going through something, and I made Jerry realize, which is why I probably say that he was on his road to knowing where his fate was that there was no coincidence that my brother Jerry, JJ, and Tito, they grew up like a brother. Remember, JJ grew up like a brother, were going through the same exact thing the same time, because Tito was in New Hampshire in the hospital, sick. So when I told Jerry about Tito and JJ, he was distraught and said why nobody said anything about his nephew. And when I said the same thing to JJ about Jerry and Tito, he was like that he didn't want that for his uncles, right? Meanwhile, he was going through the same stuff. So they're all going through things as far as drinking. You know what I'm saying? So when I say about my son is when I went into the hospital, he was in ICU for a week. The same type of story when I gave birth to my son. And at the last few moments, the doctor said to me, how long was your son drinking? And he stopped me and said, you could tell me your son was drinking for 10 years, which wasn't true. This was 2018 that he was a smoker. Let's not lie about it. Jerry and him was smokers. So when he stopped me, he said, you could tell me your son was drinking for 10 years, but it still does not amount to men, right? All of us drinking for 50, 40 years.
That's right.
So that told the doctors at that particular point, and nobody could take that from me as far as what I'm teaching people or showing. I'm not putting people down as far as drinking. I'm still drinking. I'm drinking right now. But the point about it is when I say that the liquor that was put in our neighborhood, what the doctors were seeing, the exhilaration of my son's liver was that of a 50-year-old man that's been drinking for 40 years.
That mean
Maybe the liquor was bad.
Strong shit, bad liquor, or drinking for a long time.
And he wasn't. He was only 30 years old. My son was only 30 years old. He wasn't drinking for that long. You know what I'm saying? So that the doctors were perplexed on how his liver looked, on how bad it looked. So the same thing, like so it happened first for Jerry, and I say this now, Jerry had to go there first to receive my son, because my son was way worse than Jerry was. He had to go on, and they wouldn't do a liver transplant. Of course, they're considering it because he's so young and viable, but of course, they're also saying if he's going to be drinking and deteriorating that next liver.
And this is 2 months.
And that was within 2 months that they passed from each other. So it's all purpose wise. It's all for a reason. Like I said, the doctors were just perplexed on how this young man, they seeing him looking in there, like he looked like JJ just sleeping, laying down there, but the liver and the organs and everything inside did not tell what they saw in front. And that's just what that was. So Jerry died of a seizure in his sleep, and he was in New Hampshire, so it was kind of late where nobody knew that he was there for how many hours sleeping. And then I took him to ICU, but it was that his liver failed.
Well, all praise due to the family.
And they're here to tell a story, right? Like two young, viable, strong men, like it could happen to anybody. And I just say for everybody, just pay attention and take care of ourselves, because if we're trying to do it, the outside world don't want to see us doing it right.
That's right. And there you have it, y'all. Side Block Love, East New York Love.
Yes, East New York Love.
Side Block. Pound Posse. PBC.
Here we go.
Rest in peace, Jerry. Rest in peace, JJ.
Love y'all.
No gang movement. Days never wasted. Mob gang. gang.
Yeah, I'm still gonna get you cause you snitch, bitch, I ain't forget. Slime you out again just to put you in the ditch. Crack could've shot your pussy ass, he let you live. I would've dropped your body off soon as we left the crib. Niggas speaking on that case, but they know what it is. Fuck that lame shit on gang shit, we get it in. I hit the big homie up like winners, we gon' spin. I got an appetite and blood ain't wrapped too tight. He killed himself in this one, send him to the afterlife. He gone. Put some respect on my name and I ain't asking twice. I played it cool cause I'm smooth but no more acting nice. I got some pain to give, who wanna see what that static like? I suggest you take your mom and your dad advice. Pussy niggas be singing like Gladys Knight. I never told on a nigga in my fucking life. Think I'm capping, everybody pull out black and white. Now middle fingers up. If you real right, it's time to set some mouse traps. I love to kill mice. Danny Green in these streets, nigga, fuck peace. Real right. Free the gang, niggas lunch meat. And I've been plotting on these goofy for a whole week. Jump out the cut, give a fuck, Betty go to sleep.
Yeah, Sean Don.
Betty go to sleep. Jump out the cut, get no fucks, Betty go to sleep. I've been waiting on this moment since 2014. Laying low, playing slow, still on demon time. Living life in the fast lane, I don't see rewind. I hit the road and smoke just to get a piece of mind. Gucci headband, even when I sweat I shine. Pete stepper, slime rapper, no you not my kind. Get a shit my all, no surrender, no retreat. I'd rather die inside a cage.
Never fresh meat.
Gang.
Days of wasted.